Well, this certainly indicates that Jay's up to no good as usual. This is what we came for. It's a photocell, and it works on 12 volts. So they claim. There's the diagram on it, if it'll focus. And we're going to see if it actually works. So I have my Harbor Freight jump pack here, a meter, and we'll see if we can get this to do anything. Alright, let's see what we can do. We'll put the meter over here, put that on DC volts, and we need a ground, so we'll hook up ground to the black wire. And then we need positive. Should be fine, which they say to hook up to the white wire and not the red. The red is going to be the load. So we're going to attach the meter lead to the red wire. The black wire, well, let me see if I can just jump off of this here. And that's connected there. And that's pretty much it. Now, I expect at this point, when I apply power, nothing should happen, and I shouldn't read anything on the meter. That's correct. If I cover the photocell, still nothing. Okay. Let me take this off and cover that and probe. There it is, on the white wire. No, not even. Interesting. Well, maybe I have to kill the lights, so let me see if I can get all that in, and I'll shut the lights. The meter started reading 0 for some reason by itself. Oh, there it is. I guess I just had a bad connection. Now we'll kill the lights. No, it actually zeroed again. Well, yeah, it worked. It says 12 volts. You know, whatever battery voltage is. It actually worked. It took some time. The light from the little orange light that you're seeing here is not enough. Turn the light back on. It actually works! Holy crap! Alright, let's do something more nefarious then. Okay, now I have a 12 volt relay, or rather it's a 30 amp contact, but 12 volts on the coil. And I forget what happens if you hook these up backwards. I think nothing. Red is load, so let me get a wire on one of the coil contacts on the relay, and then we're going to go from the white to the other one, so I'll use a yellow wire because that's what's handy. So we'll clamp onto that, and we'll go to the other side, and so far nothing, and I'll kill the light. Yeah, did you hear the click? It worked. Nice! Nice! Okay, let's go a little further. Okay, so now, in the complete concocted mess of wires that I have, is a fan that was removed from a power supply that I haven't oiled or done anything to, and it broke, but it still runs. And now I can just cover the photocell. The relay will send power to the fan when it senses it. There he goes. And I'll let go. It takes a few moments. That is fucking nifty. We'll do it one more time. Oh yeah, that is going to work just perfectly. So what is all of this for? Well, we got a story for that one. The relay in this circuit is not necessary because the photocell would be able to switch the fan on and off because it's such a small load. But I need the relay for a much larger load that I'll be putting on this. I'm just so jazzed that this actually works. It works like perfectly. There's enough of a delay. It does everything it's supposed to. Damn. Now let's try removing power and seeing what happens upon reset. We'll get the fan running. And shut power. And then we'll turn power back on. Okay, it goes immediately. Now let me let go and let it sense the light. Okay, we'll shut power and reapply power. Okay, so it does turn on and then shuts off very soon after. Definitely could live with that. So now I got to tell the story. The outside lights on my house, those, and those are all CFL bulbs. I run CFLs because LEDs suck. So there's CFLs everywhere. The problem is you can't use just a standard everyday wall timer for CFL lights because of the way they hook up. They pass a small amount of current through the bulbs and loop back, so that way the timer circuitry has power. The bulbs don't jive with that. The timer can't turn them on and off because it's getting weird waveforms back. So I have a standard switch for the outside lights. Right over here, you click that on and the outside lights go on. In the morning, I shut it back off. I've been doing that for years. Originally tried a timer before all the circuits in here were done. And again, it just didn't jive with those CFL bulbs. At the time when I moved into the house, online shopping was not what it is now. I moved in '06, so if you remember online shopping back then, there was not the biggest selection, and you oftentimes had to pay shipping and all kinds of stuff. A standard wind-up timer like these here would work if I could find one for, let's say, 12 hours or something like that. You know, on at 5 at night, off at 5 in the morning, or on at 6 at night, off at 6 in the morning, whatever it is, and you can adjust the times as you go. They make them, you can pay for them, they're expensive, so that's an option. But it gets to be a pain because, okay, now it's summer, so really the lights only have to go on from, you know, when it's really light out to like almost 9 o'clock, from like 9 to like 5 in the morning, you know, something like that. So now it's only 8 hours. So you're constantly going to be adjusting times. And if you had any other timer, which actually just expired, if you had any other kind of timer that automatically does that, you would have to adjust the times seasonally. And I didn't want to have to do that. I wanted something that is photocell controlled. So when XJoe81X did the lights in the living room back in, oh God, 2012 maybe it was, I think. Yeah, 2011, 2012, something like that. Yeah, even then you couldn't get timers and stuff like that. But I thought ahead. There is a junction box in the ceiling in my basement that we put in. And this has all sorts of wires going in and out of it and stuff. And what I did was I pigtailed off of that light switch for the outside lights. And that runs down into this box, I believe, and then somewhere down through the cobwebs to here. Yes, this is essentially live, or could be. well, it's not really live because you're switching the neutral. Or rather, no, you're switching the hot, excuse me. So yes, there should be live voltage here somewhere. It's been sitting like this since then because I never implemented anything. Originally, I was going to set up a timer that I have that actually plugs into the parallel port of a PC, and then one of the servers here could run that timer, but then I realized that even that's not a great solution because I'd have to adjust it seasonally. So pretty much what I have here are a pair of wires that, when shorted, do exactly the same as the switch by the front door. In other words, it's not a three-way switch, but it's controlled by two locations. If you want it on, either switch, this ultimately will be a switch, either one could be on, but for it to be off, both have to be off. And that's how it's wired. They're wired just in tandem with each other. It's as if you had a second switch there. You could turn either one on to put the lights on. You could turn them both on, but both have to be off in order for the lights to go off. So that's the plan with the photocell. What I would have to do is rig up some sort of electrical box outside the house, go through the sill, and come in with wires from the photocell, which would then go, I'll make a separate box here or something like that, that would plug in a wall wart transformer that steps down to 12 volts, and that would then go into an electrical box which would have a separate switch, just like a regular light switch, so you could disable this if something went completely awry. And that way the front door switch will operate just as a simple on-off like it always has. So that would eliminate this leg, or rather this leg, from the circuit. So that's the idea. I would have to run a wire from outside in and hook that up to that and put a second box maybe right on this beam here or something like that. When this is all getting done, it's been, what, since 2011, 2012? Maybe by 2030 it'll be done. It's one of those projects, you know. It's on the back burner forever and stuff like that. So that's what the deal would be. That's what the photocell is for. To control my outside lights, dusk to dawn, just the way I want them to work. And it'll work with any kind of fucking bulb. It'll work with, of course, incandescent. It'll work with CFL. It'll work with LED, which there will not be as long as I can continue to get CFLs. And, you know, how it went was we had incandescent. They said, no, that's no good. Get all CFLs. And then everybody got CFLs, and they said, no, that's no good. Get all LED. So everybody got LED. And there's going to be some other lighting technology someday that they're going to say, throw out all your LED bulbs. This one generates power back to the grid and produces light at the same time. And has a 700,000 year lifespan made out of fucking plutonium kryptonite. Or some crazy bullshit, which is all going to be false anyway. But it'll work because we're simply switching the load on and off through a switch. And that switch is the relay. The relay will handle 30 amps of current through its contacts. So that's how it'll be wired. It's only a 15 amp circuit. It's never going to have more than 15 amps going through, and really it's only powering the outside lights. So for how much 9 CFL bulbs are going to use, it's not even a problem. So we'll put the relay in the box and put a switch on it to disable the whole circuit and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, that's how it would be wired up. So what we have here is a $6 photocell from eBay. Thank you to Michael Gegsno. It's taking longer this time. It should shut. We'll see. But anyway, Gegsno pointed this out to me and said this would probably work. I chose the 12 volt option even though they had a 120 volt option. I didn't want to trust China with that. Should shut off eventually. I don't know why it's taken so long now. Maybe it's not seeing enough light or something. I don't know. Well, hopefully it'll work again. We'll see. Worked before, because right now the fan should not be running because there's light. Now if I cover it, nothing. If I let go, I don't know. But anyway, it worked before, so hopefully it'll work again someday. But I chose to go with the 12 volt option so I could use a relay that would have the appropriate rated contacts on there. So that's the project for this little photocell that I would have to mount in some sort of weatherproof box somewhere outside to sense daylight and not daylight. There, it worked again. Now let's cover it, and the fan should run in a few moments. Yep. And maybe it'll go and reset. So the one caveat to this system is the way this thing works, where if there's a power outage of some kind, it will take some time for it to reset. So when power is restored, the outside lights would automatically come on because this is switching them on, and then eventually it'll sense that, hey, it's still light out, if it is, of course, and then it will shut them back off. Why it's taking so much longer than it did before, I don't know. I find that very, very, very strange, but it is working, sort of. So hopefully it'll continue to work when I go and implement this. That would actually be nice. What I should do is order another one or 3 to have on hand, either for other projects or, you know, other stuff as spares. But I think I've rambled long enough. Thank you very much for watching. No, I'm not going to draw you a circuit diagram here. You can trace it yourself if you want, and at least I know what I'm doing, so that's good. Thank you for watching. Make sure you hit like, make sure you hit subscribe, and take care. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.